And there's one more thing I want to talk to you about, and then we're done. We were talking about this before, and it fell off my camera, which is itself sort of indicator of, what it means to be making independent media, and the sort of scarcity of my own means of production in relationship to the means of production that you're engaged with at HarperCollins. And you asked me about...
Oh, I said, is it, because we were talking this morning on your hand camera, and then it didn't work on your hand camera, which was, is it going to be a problem that we're switching back and forth with how the video looks between the hand camera and the big camera? And I was thinking it would probably look cool, but I didn't know what you thought.
And, it's certainly something I've been aware of, and it will, across the entire film, consistently remind people that, about my scale.
Well, they might think that it's an artistic choice.
They might.
Except for that we brought it up now. But I mean, that's what I would think if I was watching it, and not being someone who knows much about film. I would think that you were choosing to go back and forth.
But the thing is, to me, it is an artistic choice. In fact, even though it's a choice about, it costs me a lot of money to hire Robbie, and I can only hire him for a certain number of days, and that, I'm an independent person. It's coming out of my personal pocketbook, and it's bigger money than like you would ever pay for anything. You understand the scale is pretty big,
no, I do.
And the money goes very quickly.
Yeah.
So there's an artistic and formal beauty for me in something that looks like one person made it by themselves. And so there is an artistic decision to see my hand, to see that I'm not a television station, to see that I'm not even, Robbie, who makes a higher production value documentary than I do, that moves in ways that some of the work I move can't. And so, I mean, that will constantly be being said when you see the things that are shot on my camera as opposed to things shot on his. And that's one of the ideas of the piece, and it will be just said visually. So those were the things on my list. Is there anything you want to say on one of our last attempts on the big, pretty camera?
And we're gonna have a big interview tonight, though, right? Yeah. No, I mean, I think the only thing is just there's definitely something that we started talking about today that has to be, like there's an intimacy that's created about being sisters, and there's a tension that's created about being sisters, and that's part of what's happening in the story, and in the, what's happening also with the 24/7, like I was saying this morning, like you don't usually spend 24/7 with your sister. You don't usually spend 24/7 with anybody, but
believe me, I know.
Yeah, and so I mean, it's also part of the stretch as much as it's part of the ease. Like, it's also nice knowing that I'm going to have dinner with you, or if I'm going to share a bed with someone, it's way more comfortable. It is going to be you, not somebody else. When I have to borrow somebody's t-shirt to go to bed at night. But at the same time, it comes with all of its own stress and baggage.
Drama. History.
Yeah.
Sets of dynamics that are like from when we were 6.
Well, yeah, and that are like their own set of its own set of tension.
Well, we're both aware of them, and I think we've been relatively okay about it. But I would treat you differently if you were just a random human being.
And I would treat you differently.
On the other hand, all of my work has been about making work with people that I have intimate relationships with. I actually don't make documentaries about random people.
Yeah.
And there's something in the intimacy and the tension that has always been vital to my work. And it's part of why I work on a small scale. And it just so happened that a person that I know very intimately and intensely, turning into something else, not just my sister, but to some kind of...
That's no lesbian, that's my sister.
Some kind of logo. Yeah, now that's
yeah,
you.
that's totally relevant. That's no lesbian, that's my sister.
Double. Now you're some kind of spokesperson, not just my sister. And so when I make this intimate documentary, like I always make, it tells a very big story in a way that the other work I've done has not. I mean, I think that the other work I do tells a big story just through small stories. But yours is actually a big story and a small story.
Yeah.
My thing vibrated.
told you not to do that. It's bad for you too.
I think that's it. Do
Okay.
you want to say anything else?